1.
Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with my course manager and co-host Rufus Carpenter. As most of you already know, Rufus and I have created this forum where you can discuss trials and triumphs in past and present relationships. We encourage everyone to share, speak their truth, and talk as much or as little as they would like. Before we kick off with tonight's topic, as always, we're going to allow Mr. Carpenter to introduce himself as well as give you a little bit of background about his history with Reset to Healthier Relationships and what he brings to the table.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, Annette. Hey, Ava. Hey, Roger Kingdom. Hey, Dr. Johnson. How's everybody tonight?
Great.
Happy Groundhog's Day. Did you see the shadow?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good deal. Once again, my name is Rufus Carpenter, and I come to this space a little different than most. I come from this space where I come in from a large family who never really had enough, and early in life, I learned in order to have something, you got to be able to contribute. I remember when I was like 8 or 9, or a little younger. One weekend, I went out and I did all kind of chores in the neighborhood for the neighbors. I cut wood, I cut grass, I washed cars, I did grocery runs. I even went by the side of the highway and picked up soda bottles and soda cans and stuff like that. So all together the whole weekend, I made $35 and some change. And I ran home to my mom because I was so happy I made so much because I never had that much money in my hand at one time. So I took it to my mom and she was so proud of me. She reached out and she kissed me and she gave me like $1 and some change of it, said, Rufus, this is for you, baby. I love you. That moment changed the rest of my life in relationships. From that point on, I realized that I was a helper. And being a helper, I wanted to be service to people. My relationship training started there, but it didn't stop there. I was married 27 years to the same lady. And if you're married any time, you learn about communication, you learn about compromise, you learn about trust. And these are the things not necessarily for a happy marriage, but these are the things for understanding human relationships and deeper connection. My background didn't stop there. I joined the United States Army, and while I was part of the Army, one of my jobs was race relation and relationships leader, where I had the responsibility for going in and investigating any race or relationship problems within our units. I would do what's called the intake form. In the intake form, I would decide which level of responsibility or what resources we had through at solving the problems. So my background is diverse, and tonight, this thing we call Reset Healthy Relationship is our basic, but Sunday night at 9, we have this container here where it's like set up for, the framework is set up for 20 women or like in your living room. And you guys are relaxed, sit back, and you might have a cup of wine or some soft music, and you guys are talking about relationships. Now, normally we have a topic that we talk about, but you're not limited to talk about that topic. If you have any relationship questions that you kind of wondering or how to handle, this is the place you bring them out, because we're a community where we're here to help you, and we help you to solve some relationship problems. Okay, Glenda, turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Carpenter. Just a few housekeeping rules. Please mute your phones until you're ready to talk to avoid any background noise. Let's also be respectful and to allow everyone to speak their truth and let everyone get their comments and their feedback out. Now, without further ado, we have our topic for tonight: unbothered and unapologetic. Prioritizing self-love over external validation. So before we dive into this topic for tonight, I want to ask you a question. Why do so many of us still crave validation from people who don't even see our worth? Do anyone want to share a response to that question on tonight?
Low self-esteem.
Okay, that's big and huge. Trust me, I will agree with you on that. Anybody else have a comment on that question?
Attachment styles.
Annette, did you want to say something?
I could say that it's just something that you're just accustomed to,
Okay.
following suit with things as a norm.
Okay. All right. So society, family relationships, there are always an expectation to be nice, be accommodating, be likable, but at what cost? So being unbothered and unapologetic isn't about being rude or reckless. It's about choosing you over the opinions of others. It's about self-love so strong that outside noise can't shake it. Tonight, we're digging deep. Why do we seek validation? How do we break free? And most importantly, how do we truly love ourselves unapologetically? I just love the topic because I was told that, I won't say the phrase out loud, but most of the time, I really don't care. I've given somebody the impression that there's a lot of stuff I care about, and there's definitely a lot of stuff I don't care about. And I express it very loudly. All right. So, Mr. Carpenter, do you want to chime in on the topic a little bit before we get started? Because I know you always come with something special.
Well, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna tell you what the real topic is. Y'all ready for the real topic?
Oh, yeah.
Are you really ready? The real topic is I don't give a fuck. That's the real topic. That's the real topic. That's the real topic, because a lot of times, if you really care about everybody feeling, you try to please everybody and you try to be it to everything and everybody, you run yourself ragged. You just run yourself ragged. And you got to worry about self-care and self-love. Somebody I think Gigi put something in the comment a few minutes ago that you don't value yourself, or something she put in there. It was very.
They don't love themselves.
Yes, you got to realize something. A lot of times, you got to realize you got to take care of you. No one is going to handle you, or no one is going to take care of your feelings like you are.
Right.
So and they told me they got two types of people in the world: givers and takers. And if you get hooked up to a taker who don't care about you anyway, and then you trying to do all you can to please them, to get them to see your side, to get them to see you as a nice person, where you'll never ever accomplish that, because nothing you can do can ever please them, because they always want more and more of you. So you have to get a stand for yourself. You got to put barriers up. You got to realize that your self-love and self-worth. And that's very, very important. But that's all I want to say, Glenn. I want to start out right there and let everybody know what the real topic is, so now we can talk. I don't give a...
I see why you didn't put it on my paperwork.
No, I ain't want you to say it. You a Christian girl. I ain't want you to come out saying that.
Okay, so we're going to kick it off with an example tonight. Hello, Sharon, Annette, Gigi, Avo, Ronald, and Dr. Johnson. Okay, the example I want to start off with is Keisha stayed in a relationship for 5 years with a man who made her feel invisible. He never complimented her, never made her feel special, but leaving felt terrifying because she didn't want to be seen as another single Black woman. The day she walked away, she realized she had been waiting for him to tell her she was worthy, when the truth is she really was. She already was, but she had to realize that by eventually letting go. But she had all the red flags because he made her feel invisible. He never complimented her, and he never made her feel special. So, those are, what is that? 3, let me see, 1, 2, 3 red flags right there. And it shouldn't last 5 years. Within the first year, you should be complimented on a regular basis. If not, every other day, once a week, your significant other needs to tell you, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, I like that style on you. I like the way that perfume smells on you. Or I like the way that cologne, smells on you. Something to that effect. You shouldn't go 5 years without being complimented, because then you feel like, does this person really like me? I mean, what type of feelings does he have for me? Now, I want to ask the audience, do y'all have any feedback or comments on that first example that I shared with you guys tonight?
I got something to say.
All right, now go ahead, Gigi.
Well, when you said that, I think a lot of women today, I'm not going to say all of them, um, they ignore the red flags. They ignore the warning signs. They kind of ignore what they see him doing in hopes that, now this is not me. This is just a statement. In hopes that, hey, maybe he's going to change. But you look at a man and you go by what you see, what you hear, what you see him do for you. If he doesn't line up with what you need in your life, then you need to keep it moving.
Exactly.
And I just noticed a lot of them. I mean, you see the red flags, and for what? How many years did she go?
5.
5. She knew within in less than 6 months whether or not he was going to treat her right.
Right.
She
I totally
knew whether she acknowledged the fact or not, but she knew she was holding out for hope. But if you mean when you go somewhere and he doesn't do anything for you, he doesn't say anything when you get dressed to go to church on Sunday, I mean, nobody has to really tell you. You just
right.
holding out hope.
Yeah,
That's
I
all I have
totally
to say.
agree.
I got two questions,
Go ahead.
and I'm curious as ever. The first question is, why do we have to wait until we get sick and tired of being sick and tired to make a move?
So we don't know how to do that.
I
Two,
say,
Hey, Sharon. Sharon says, and I didn't hear what Sharon said. What you say? Say it again, Sharon. I didn't hear it.
And now I didn't know my mic was on. I was saying because people don't know how to be by themselves.
oh, true.
well, number two is, what would it take for a person to learn how to love themselves truly, where they don't have to accept those compliments and all that other stuff because they learn their worth?
Can I answer that?
Yes,
Go ahead.
feel free.
Mr. Mr. Kingdom, it may be that when they came up, they weren't shown love. They weren't given love. That love was not shown in the family. I love you, or I was. Let me stop and say this. I was raised up with men. I had all men babysitters. They were my uncles because my mom worked second shift, so they were the ones that took care of me. And when a woman is being told that she's beautiful when she's young, um, treated a certain way, the self esteem level is very high. But if a woman has never been shown, treated, or anyone let them know how beautiful they are, or whatever, then that's why, because they're out searching for something in a man that's never going to happen until they fall in love with themselves.
Well, the reason I asked that question, I was in an 18 and a half year relationship. Well, ain't no relationship, it was a marriage.
Mhm.
And I was raised up by elderly guys, basically, and families. I never really grew up with my peers. So I knew from the old school what my role was coming up because of the people I was around. Now, in my 18-year marriage, I've told my ex every day, all day, every chance I get, why and how I was in love with her.
Mhm.
You're beautiful. You smell good. You look great, and all that, right? Well, her reply to me was, what are you doing? You trying to convince yourself that you're in love with me? Trying to convince yourself? So over the period of time with that type of reaction, I quit doing it. I got her a job at a travel center where truckers come in every day. And guess what happens?
Word.
They started telling her the same thing I was telling her every day
Mhm.
as her husband. She fell for it, divorced me, almost killed me. And she's been more or less what they call a side chick for the last probably, since 14, 10 years now. And the situation's still the same. But the point I'm getting at is all we got to do, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record repeating the same thing, but once you find how to love yourself and realize your worth, you don't have to worry about them long time relationships being in misery and being miserable, because then you will learn, first of all, you don't owe nobody nothing.
Correct.
You come into that as a 50-50 deal, meaning you bring it equal to the table. You're able to communicate with who you with because you know your worth and get that understanding of what you expect and what they expect. I've lived my life, and like I always tell y'all, I speak from my experience in life, not what I read or heard. When I go get a job, when I was in the workforce, I sit down in that orientation, the employer tell me what they expect of me on a job.
Mhm.
And as me being who I am, I have the right to ask and tell them the same thing. I tell them what I expect from that job. And we got to understand it from the rip. That way you don't start now, you can't finish. You know me, I know you. Now let's get started. Then
Right.
you go from there. A marriage, relationship, everything is the same concept and principle. So if you go in it with an understanding and communication, you can make it last however long you want it to last. But if you don't have that understanding, that communication, and knowing what your worth is, that's your fault for being stuck in it. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Can I get in? Anybody got else anything to say before I jump in? Because you know I'm always jumping in. I'm sorry, I got 2 feet to jump in. Jump in.
Me,
Go
can I,
ahead.
Yes,
okay, listen,
Sharon. Sharon, go
okay,
ahead.
okay, can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we
Yes, ma'am.
can.
Is it me or is it just me that I don't totally disagree? I mean, I disagree with that complimenting me every day and telling somebody they look good every day or whatever, just to be, feel like they love you or whatever. That will get on my nerves.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Because guess what? If that's my partner, then I'm supposed to look good to him anyway. So if I do something exceptional or dress, get a special hairdo, then yeah, but every day,
I like it every day.
Well, let me say this, okay? From me coming up from the old school, when I'm proud of someone or something, I express why and explain. And what it boils down to is not the fact of you repeatedly saying that, but it's the communication part. Okay, in your case, if it gets on your nerve or whatever, then you should have that communication where you can speak. Hey, look, babe, you don't have to say that every day. I understand. I got you. So guess what he'll do? It won't become an everyday thing. It's all about the communication you have.
but I understand that too. But I didn't speak on that part. I was just saying I would feel the same way, kind of like not being funny, but like how your ex-wife feel. Why are you telling me that every day? I'm supposed to look good to you anyway. Are you trying to convince yourself? I mean, not being funny, but I'm just saying.
That's fine. That's fine. You
I
and
understand where you're coming from, but then again, like I said, it depends on the individual. It's not what you
Right.
say, it's how you say it.
Well, some people are more affectionate than others or need that validation or whatever. But I'm just saying for me that
Okay, well, okay, since you said that, let me ask you a question personally.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
now I'm gonna compare that with being affectionate,
Hmm.
touchy feely. Okay, if you with somebody that's always touchy feely, want to hold your hand, want to walk with their arms around you, would that be smothering you?
no,
Hell
I would
yeah.
enjoy every minute.
Oh, wait, wait,
Yeah.
wait, 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 wait,
I
wait, wait.
didn't hear it.
That was a direct question.
Yeah, I said hell yeah. I mean, because I feel like that's not giving me my space. I mean, and what I mean by space is okay, if we live in a movie together and, you know, off from work and we just chilling and I'm laying on, you know, my head on his lap or something, that's cool. But every time I sit down on the couch to sit down or whatever, I don't need nobody where I can't even, you know, use my arms to feed myself or whatever because they all in the way. That'll get on my nerves.
Okay, there again,
Oh,
it's all about communication because a lot of people, especially females that I've dealt with and seen in different relationships with friends of mine,
Right.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
they pray and they be like, man, I want a man that'll do this. I want a man that'll do that. But once they get it, damn, why you keep smothering me? Let me breathe.
So can I
But you
ask you a
asked
question?
for it.
hey,
Can I say
Can
something?
it get,
hey, wait, stop. Who just
no,
said
I'm
they
just
want to say something? Go ahead.
gonna,
That's all. Go
This
ahead.
is this is Octavia on
Go ahead.
Annette Atkins line.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Octavia.
First off, good evening, everyone.
Good
I just
evening.
wanted to say that it depends on the person's love language.
That's it. An attachment
If
style.
if you are a person who gives someone compliments, that's you giving that person compliments, but that might not be the way they want to receive love. They might be a person who is acts of service or physical touch or quality time. Just because you choose to love someone the way you want them to, the way you want to love them, that doesn't mean that's the way they want to be loved. So in a relationship, you should find a balance in learning each other's love language so you know what it is and what it isn't that person wants from you in order to have a successful relationship.
I agree with you 100%. But then it goes back to one big, long, excuse my French ass word,
Communication.
communication.
Yeah.
Because if you have communication, communication is how you learn a person. You have to ask, you have to see. You understand? It's all about verbally and physically.
but
Verbally, you ask and you communicate. Physically, you see by doing. You got to reach out. You can't just sit back and say, okay, I'm gonna just stay in this and let it go where it go. Then you're gonna get lost. That's just like going down the road without directions and signs. If you go down that road, you're gonna end up lost somewhere because you have
what,
no road sign or no communication. If I go down the road and I got communication, I'm reading my map, it say turn on this road, I know where I'm going.
Hey
that's
guys.
because I'm familiar with it.
Hey guys. But
Oh,
this, and you guys brought up a great point on both sides of the thing. This is why we came up with that start, stop, and continue, a higher level of communication. So you can circle back it can be weekly, monthly, or quarterly. You can circle back to things you like, things you want to continue, things you want to stop, and things you want to start in a relationship. And that's a higher level of communication. And that gives you a chance to clear some of these things so you'll know and you operate the same way. Because when your partner tells you something, or sometimes not just what they tell you, is what they show you, you may need a way to how do you address that, and everybody come off on a slate that everybody can live and grow and communicate. So that's awesome. But one thing I wanted to bring up when you guys were talking, and I think Mr. Kingdom said, why do you have to wait 5 years? And somebody else said something else on the other side of that equation. A lot of times it's because the stories you tell yourself, the stories you tell yourself in your own head. Because like that lady might stay in that relationship 5 years because she was telling herself the story that if I stay here long enough, he may understand, or I may find out what's going on. The stories you tell yourself are sometimes what keep you in place longer than you should. Not what's so much going on, but the stories you tell yourself. Because you can't fool yourself. You can fool me probably, but very rarely do you fool yourself. So what stories you tell yourself are playing in your own head, it may not be true. It may or may not be true, but you operate on it. Your brain can't tell whether it's true or not if you keep telling yourself the same thing over and over. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
That makes sense because there again, I don't mean to just take the floor, but like I said, I was raised up by old school. My granddad was as close to being God on this earth as a man could be. And when I walk in life, I walk according to his footsteps, trying to be as good as he was. Now, what he told us and raised us, okay, a bad start is a happy ending on most occasions. And I truly believe that. And mine went 18 and a half years because I really believe that. I had a bad start. So I'm looking for the better end. And that's why I stayed and stayed and stayed.
And the stories you told yourself, the story you told yourself, it's going to get better and we
It's
could
gonna
make
get
it
better.
work.
It's
We'll
gonna
make
get
it work.
better. But then
Correct.
I didn't love myself though.
Correct.
So I didn't know what my worth really was.
Correct.
So once I learned to love myself, then I learned the word communication. And then you got to learn how to communicate. You can't just go in there because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can't just go jump in a conversation, just blurt stuff out because people have feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to put a wall up, then you just go in and just say whatever's on your mind. As that point, as Rufus said from the beginning, that F word, who don't whatever, you understand? When you
Unapologetic.
go and just blurt, when you just go and blurt and just talk, you're not communicating. And as I said in a previous thing, you first of all got to listen to know what's being said. And once you listen and know what's being said, then you can do number two. You can communicate because now you know what to speak on. That's what it's all about. Once we, as humans, learn how to communicate with each other, that's in politics or anything, not just relationships, we can understand it because in order to communicate, you got to learn how to listen to know what to speak about. Then you speak, but then you got to know what to say and how to say it. I can curse you out with big words without even using big words.
Hey,
You
Mr.
can do
King,
me as
so,
well.
Mr. Kingdom,
Can I say something? Can I say something?
go ahead, Sharon. Then I'll talk after you.
Oh, okay. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, Mr. Kingdom, or whatever. But I notice you keep stressing communicate, like as if that's something brand new to people. Once we get in a relationship, communication skills we learn as we grow. As we growing. This is my opinion. As we're growing, so I be feeling like when you keep saying communication is the key, that's the key in the world. So if it takes that much communication in after 18 years or however you said or whatever, about your marriage or nothing, not judging you or anything, but it took you that long?
I'm gonna tell you what took me that long. What took me that long? First of all, being from the old school, I didn't believe in divorces. Second of all, it took me that long because the main reason I did not know how to love because I didn't know how to love myself. And by not knowing how to love myself, I didn't know my worth. You understand? So what I did was I kept giving love the way I thought it was and just letting her be, let's put it this way, I put her before God. Everything that her and the kids wanted came first. Nothing that I wanted came to play at all. And that's why I stayed in it. But once you learn how to love yourself and learn your worth,
I agree.
then you start learning the word communication and how to communicate. Because hey, I know I don't like this. So if I can't talk to you and you work with me on my dislikes, then I don't need me even going any further with you because I know where it's going.
And it
So it ain't
says
gonna get
something.
the
And it says
problem.
something on the. And what's that? What you put in the text? And I saw it. What you put in text in it?
I was saying that that's what we're talking about, being stuck. That's what it's all about, Mr. Kingdom. We're talking about people being stuck. So he explained himself being stuck just a few minutes ago.
Right.
So that's exactly what we're talking about.
And that's why I'm glad you guys bringing this out. And that's why this container is so important. And that's why it's community here that you can get this stuff out. Because a lot of us, we didn't know. Because Mr. Kingdom said that you should be able to know what to say. A lot of us don't know what to say. We don't know how to say what we're saying. We know what we're feeling, but we don't know how to express those emotions in such a way that a person can hear it. So that's why we're here on this container, so we can give you the strategy, we can give you the framework, we can give you the way forward in a lot of relationships, because you don't have to settle anymore. You don't have to say you don't have to say that no more. You can actually be yourself and you can find your way out. And we've given you some kind of techniques, a framework that you can use to go forward. Because 2025, no one needs to be stuck anymore. No one needs to be in a relationship that they don't want anymore. Everybody should at least know what they want and what they're looking for and the direction how to get there.
Right.
And if you don't know how to get there, you're stuck, ask somebody. And if this is not the place, you may need professional help. You may need a counselor, or you may need a psychiatrist, or whatever you need. Or you may need to see a pastor. But we're here to help. We're here doing some good stuff. You guys are bringing out some great stuff on both sides of the aisle here. So I'm glad to be a part of this container. Right. Right, let's go to number 2, because there's a lot more we got to unpack. And as we unpack some more of this, you're going to see it's some of the same, so you guys can jump back in. Do number 2, Glenda, the second
example.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the workplace code, switching struggle. Tasha got a promotion but felt pressure to tone it down at work. She changed her hair, softened her voice, and held back her opinions. But one day she thought, why am I shrinking to fit in? She started showing up as herself unapologetically. And guess what? She didn't lose respect, she gained it.
And the reason why I want Glenn to bring that up, I was a recruiter for a company once, and my job was to bring the qualified candidates in front of the management team, and then they interview them. I brought this one girl; she was super qualified, and after the interview was over, I thought we were going to hire the girl, and the manager told me we're not going to hire her. I said, why? He told me she got green hair. I said, what? She got green hair? But he said that he didn't want to hire her because of that. So I brought that up to let you realize that lady, she could have dyed her hair black hair, but she was an African American lady who wanted, a black lady who had that style and hair looked good on her. The things she had looked good. But he said nope, he didn't want to do that. So she could have shrunk, she could have, wore a wig or something and been, and she could have been other than herself and he'd have hired her. But because she was being herself with green hair, he didn't want to hire her. And she was super qualified. So a lot of times, especially Black women, you have to shrink. You can't be yourself. A lot of times, a lot of people are afraid or feel that, you're going to be a hard person to deal with, or you're going to be hard-headed or not wanting to do your part or something. But sometimes Black ladies get a stereotype the wrong way by society. Mm-hmm. And go ahead. I want to bring that up.
Well, when you're talking about a job force, I'm a firm believer that you got to be willing to walk away on a lot of issues. First of all, why would you want to be in an atmosphere where you're not comfortable or you're not happy? First of all, if I'm there and I got to fit in, I got to be something that I'm not, I feel I don't need to be there.
Exactly.
And if you're a godly person, well, let me ask y'all this question. I'm curious. I'm going to left field real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of you all believe in God, I do hope. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, do you feel that God talks to you and tell you what to do in your daily walk of life?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, from my experience, before I make a decision on anything, mm-hmm. whether buy a car or go spend a lot of money or different money, I pray first. Mm-hmm. And then whatever my first instinct is what I go on, because usually your first instinct, God tells you what to do. A lot of times you be driving and you be like, damn, I started to go that way. That was my first instinct. That second guessing is what gets you in trouble. You follow the first instinct, 9 times out of 10, you're right. So once you learn, excuse me?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just got a promotion on my job, and they went through target selection. So I got to interview with 4 different people. And at the end of the interview and process, I thought I had not done well. But when they came back to me, they were so excited the fact that they had somebody of my caliber working for them. I did not dull my shine. I just spoke when it was necessary, when it was important to speak. And I spoke when people could hear what I had to say.
Right.
That's all.
But that goes back also to what I just said. If you sit back and listen to what's being said in the communication, then you know what to speak and when to speak on it. You just confirm what I said.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like you have to pick your battles. You have to know when and how to carry and conduct yourself in a particular environment or time for everything. Now, the example like Rufus gave as far as the green hair situation, I get that, and I get it all, but maybe at a time like that, it was this person going before a board or among people, and this is still relationship situation. You need to fit in. You can't, maybe your boldness or you whatever it is, you can't just bring that out boom bam from the beginning. These people don't know you, you don't know them.
Got to be
You
worked
don't,
in.
they don't get to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, say what you said.
I said it has to be worked in.
Yeah, they didn't get to see your qualities and the beauty of what you could have added to the table, because they were just bam, point blank with this, which is you, and you just had to make a decision. Do I show my character or my me who I am right now, or do I fit in? What is the environment I'm trying to get in? This is still relationship bound. What am I trying to do, and who am I opposing? Who am I up against? What is it I need to do to fit in here in order to get in, and then be able to show who you are and be yourself? Things like that makes a difference in relationships.
It does.
I agree with you 100%. That's just like when you walk. Let's say we going to a ball where you got to wear this big ball dress or what have you. Okay, you know what the dress is, the dress attire is. Okay, but I walk in there with sweats on. You got to go in prepared for the situation and not just show up. Because first instincts is everything. Why am I going to show up and not dress for the occasion? And that's pretty much could have been the situation with the green hair. You understand? You could have walked in there for a business attire with green hair, which is very inappropriate. So it's a different scenarios that go in. But then again, you got to know what your worth is. If you really love yourself and know your worth, then you'll fit the occasion. Because you want other people to see your worth as well.
Let's go to number 3 example, because that's a great example, Glenda.
All right. We have Danielle posted a picture she loved, but when it didn't get any likes or enough likes, she deleted it. Then she stopped. Why am I getting strangers to decide what's beautiful about me? Let me read the question again. Why am I letting strangers decide what's beautiful about me? She reposted it and decided from then on, the only validation that mattered was her own. I agree with her on that, especially with social media.
Me too. I agree with that too.
But a lot of people put stuff in social media just to get a feel. That they want social media to verify, validate them what they're doing. They go everything from meals at restaurant to friends to whole 9 yards.
Because they don't know something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That falls back on somewhat of a self-esteem matter. Really, you're letting someone else dictate what you should look like, what you should feel like, what you should think like.
But
when
don't a lot
you
of people
talk
do that?
about
Don't, Mr. Kingdom, don't a lot of people do that? Isn't there a way where a lot of people
it,
dress and the things they wear and the clothes
75,
they put
80% of the
on?
people do that. 75 or 80% of the people do that because guess what they're doing? Because of that self-esteem that they have, they're trying to fit in.
Right.
And what I mean by, I'm gonna give you a prime example. A lot of females, okay, the models, they are petite, they're smaller. Now look at the way the world is. Everybody's getting these BBLs and whatever, and look at it. They
Mhm.
trying to fit in. You got so many people that's going out getting these life-risking surgeries trying to fit in with the BBLs. You understand? They let something else dictate them instead of them loving themselves. You
Right.
understand?
But
If
Andre,
you really feel
Andre
like
put it.
yourself,
Andre put it on in chat where he said that social media dictates a lot of what we do in way of self-esteem.
yes, because we what? We fail to love ourselves for what we are and for our own worth as individuals. We let you let your peers lead and guide you where you at. Coming up in school, everybody wanted to be popular in school. So we tried to do it. But yet the ones such as myself, we was the nerds.
Do you guys remember when the ladies used to eat and go in the bathroom and throw up the anorexic when we had that period in the United States?
Right.
I
Yeah,
remember
they
that.
want to be petite and all that.
Yep, everybody wanted to be so small.
But now, as the black culture got it started where, oh, I want a big butt and a smile, as they say that phrase. Now everybody, white and blacks, getting BBLs. They want them wide hips, big butts, and everything else, not knowing that the damage that it do to themselves. Some people physically, medically need it.
I
You
agree.
understand? They medically need it, and that's why they get it. And I'm not knocking it. You understand? But you got so many, same thing with hair. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go from the BBLs. Let's speak on hair. A lot of females go and get wigs that is actually shorter than their actual hair. A lot of females don't even need the wigs, the braids and stuff. They can do their own natural hair and be just as gorgeous. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
It's just a matter of what the public is doing.
Yeah. Well, I speak on that.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, now, okay, not Mr. Kingdom, not picking on you or whatever. Like you say, some women go and get weaves that's shorter than their own hair or whatever like that. I don't know, think really some people may do that because they may think they need that. But I think it's just a matter of wanting a different look or a different style, being yourself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
that's true, but the reason I use the hair situation because I used to do the hair. I used to sew the weave in. I used to put it in.
Mhm.
And a lot of times the styles that they get, they can do it with their own and it be equal to what they have. But because
Don't
this one
last
comes
long.
into the shop and say, well, my man just paid for me to get my hair done. Well, my man just paid for me to get my, so they doing according to what their friends and the peers are doing. That's why they're doing it. It's their
What?
self-esteem.
What? No. Hold on. Can I say something again?
Go ahead, Sharon. Just talk.
Okay. No, see, well, see now, now that statement, they doing it because of what their peers doing or my man paid for this. It's just weave hair lasts a whole lot longer. You get more use out of it. It just lasts longer. It maintains, it holds. That's my opinion. I get it.
And especially a lot of ladies that work every day don't want to do their hair. So they
Right.
get a style, that they can just flip, rough, and roll and be gone out the house.
That is so true.
And another thing that ladies do it for is to keep warm because when I got ready to go to Detroit, uh, they told me to braid my hair because I would not stay warm enough. And when I braided my hair, I could keep a hat on it and I stayed warm.
Hmm, that's something new. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that. All right, where are we at, Glenda? Where are we at now? I got some questions. Let's go through the questions. How do you shift to self-love? What boundaries you set without guilt? Have anyone ever set in boundaries and then went back and felt guilty for doing the boundaries and rescinded or changed your mind on some things?
Yes, I have all the time because I be thinking, damn, did I hurt their feelings or something? You know.
So you didn't give that I don't give a fuck. You-
Well, actually, I did, but still, I tried to put their feelings involved a little bit too.
He said,
Okay, the rules.
I just had to say that. I'm sorry. I had to say that because really, originally we started with the real title, I don't give a, but then we decided to soften it a little bit. All
Well,
right.
yeah,
Have you what
it's
now?
about feeling like you regret something that you did, your decision. Yeah. Because coming up there again with my situation,
Come on.
I've never been the one to just go to the malls. I ain't finna go sit in the mall, walk around no mall. No, I ain't finna do that. But guess what? Once I learn how to love myself and start dealing with myself, it makes me and give me the mindset, well, shoot, I love this person I'm with. And if that's what they love doing, and I want to be with them for
Mm-hmm.
the sake of being with them, I started going to that doggone mall. So
That's
I look back
understandable.
and say, shoot, man, I regret steadfast, and stand my ground. I ain't going, I ain't going. Well, shoot, I could have helped probably save mine by going to the mall. So yeah, sometimes I regret, but
Okay.
yet and still now that I'm living, there go that word communication again. I want to be with you. I communicate with you. I'm gonna go spend time with you, and
We,
vice versa.
I like
we
what you said,
go ahead,
Mr.
Sharon. You
King.
say something, Sharon? Well, we've got a saying in relationship that no is a full sentence. Because sometimes people, when they say no, they feel like they got to explain themselves. They got to, well, I said no because the last few times we went to the mall, I didn't have any money to spend. So I was walking around with the whole time while y'all was shopping. But if the answer is no, no is a complete sentence. They actually want to go, like when you go to Mr. Kingdom, so you want to go to the mall? No. That's the answer.
Well, I agree with that reasons too, because no is the final.
No is a full sentence. You got to realize that 'cause a lot of people feel when they say no, you have to have an explanation. Here's why I'm saying no. No is a full sentence. Do we understand that? We get that.
I'm gonna start using it.
All depends who you use it on.
Well, I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna
Go
add to
ahead.
that. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to define it, but it's the way that you say no.
No
You
mean
can just
no.
look. Okay, if I ask you to do something, you just no, hell
No.
no.
Hell no. Yes.
Okay, the way you just said, I'm gonna get offensive.
Really?
But you're just like, no, not
So
today.
what happened to the
Or, it's
communication?
the way you said. It's
But
how
not
you
today
think of
mean
it.
they may want to do it tomorrow. You may be thinking they will do it tomorrow, but no means not
Right.
at all.
And you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you. But like I said, it's the way that you said in the context. And it's the situation.
Over.
And then
It's
let's.
the
Sometimes you have
situation.
a little
Because
fun.
like, okay, I'm gonna give you two scenarios.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. If I'm with you as a companion, whatever,
mm-hmm.
and we talking about going to the bedroom, you tell me no, okay, that's it. Ain't finna beg you, ain't finna bother you. No me no.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to going to the mall or to the movies or something, you understand? And you say no, it's how you tell me no. Because guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my butt up and I'm gonna go without you.
Isn't that quid pro quo?
No, it's a difference. It's a difference.
Same thing.
You don't think so?
No, because you want something. and they
Well, let
said
me put it
no.
like this.
So
I'm finna
now
show
you
you
don't
the
want to take them to the mall because they said no. So that's quid
no.
pro
Let me
quo,
show you
right?
the difference. Let me show you the difference. Since you said it isn't a difference. If I'm in a marriage with you and I get ready to go to that bedroom with you, and you tell me no, that's a wrap. I'm not finna beg you. I'm finna please you, but yet and still, I go to the other room, get in my game, TV, whatever it might be. I'm not gonna jump up and go out there and get it somewhere else. Whereas if I'm going to the movies or out to eat or somewhere and you tell me no, I'm gonna get my black blue up and I'm going to eat or to the movies by myself.
Okay, what happened
That's
to the
the difference.
communication?
Go ahead, Sharon. What you say, Sharon?
What happened to the communication? That person may have said no because they didn't want in the mood at the time or whatever. That don't mean they don't want to never do it.
Explanation when you say no.
But it's not like I'm just gonna say, okay, if that person, same thing with the sex in the room or whatever. I'm not gonna hold you or hold no grudge against your no. You understand? Like an average person would do, say, for example, you go out to a restaurant to eat. You have a bad experience at this one particular restaurant. So you're going to quit eating at all them restaurants because you had one bad situation? No. So just because you told me no on this case, I'm not going to hold it against you and I just try another day.
Okay.
That's all. You move on, just try another day.
Hey,
Because at one point in my relationship, she tell me no every day.
Well, why did you say if the person said no, going into the bedroom, you'll just go in another room and do whatever? I mean,
Because it depends on the circumstances. If she don't want to be bothered, well, guess what? I'm not going to bother her. So I remove
that's
myself.
you say you're not gonna beg her.
No.
y'all make me think of something there, but I ain't gonna say it. Ain't gonna say
Cause
what I
another
used to
problem.
say.
Won't that cause another problem?
No, I ain't gonna say what I used to say.
No, but I'm saying,
Don't
I'm gonna
say
tell you. Well, I say what I used to say, and I ain't scared to say it because I don't give up. Ooh, my philosophy in life used to be when I was younger. When you want, somebody else will.
That ain't what I was gonna say.
Now, it might not be what you say, but that's what I tell them.
Sir.
So the minute you say no, I'm going out the door like I would go to a show or something.
Nah, now
But
let's
when you
let's
learn
let's
your
finish up.
self-love or whatever, then you learn your worth and well, you got the communication. You learn not to do that.
Hold up,
Sure.
Mr. Carpenter, what was you gonna say?
No, I ain't gonna say what I used to say.
You need to say it. You need to say it.
We need to hear it so we can be
No,
on
y'all
the
don't need to hear that.
Well, okay, since we don't need to hear it, we want to hear it.
No, they don't need to hear that.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, see, you got 3 people saying they want to hear it. So what is it? What did you used to say?
I ain't telling. No is no. But let's finish up because we got a couple more under how do you shift to self-love. And one way you shift to self-love, you hang around people that genuinely celebrate you instead of hanging around people that tolerate you. There's a difference. People that genuinely love you, you can feel it. And people that tolerate you, just, you there and they really don't want you there. They just have to put up with you. It's a different feeling. And how do you confirm yourself? How do you feel beautiful and powerful and you get all these things done? It's the way you carry yourself and who you're around.
Right.
How do you shift your self-love? How do you celebrate yourself sometime? That's what's very, very important. Tonight we went through a lot. Glenn, let's go reeling this on in, Glenda, unless you got something else you want to add.
No, we can really hear.
Yeah, because tonight was a great topic, unapologetic and unbothered by what people think of you. Because sometimes it's the stories you tell yourself, what goes on in your own head sometimes to set the issue up. Because if you don't think you're worthy, guess what? You're not. If you think you're worthy, guess what? You are. It's what you tell yourself. It's not necessarily what the other people tell you. It's what you tell yourself a lot of times. So you've got to realize that a lot of times your mood and the state of mind which you're in, you set it. It's not always set by the other person. Sometimes you set it yourself. Because Kingdom said, like it said, communication is key. Communication is very key. And how you communicate to yourself is more important than anything else, because you are what you tell yourself. You are what you believe. You know, if you believe something is this way, no matter what nobody tell you, you're going to believe that. So make sure you keep yourself, you check yourself out first and make sure you're straight. Okay, Glenda, what do you want to say to close us out?
Well, I really enjoyed the topic for tonight. I like the interaction amongst everybody that participated. I really don't have anything extra outside of, I look forward to seeing you all next week. If you haven't joined our public Facebook page, please do so. It's under Glenda Driver, as well as you can always listen and see our video again by Wednesday of the following week if you want to just get another good laugh or take more notes. How about that? Because I know that before I end, I'm going to ask Mr. Carpenter one more time. What's that saying you said?
Let me just put a head in. Now, you want to know? You want to know?
Hey, can I say something though?
Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with that, okay? My thing is basically is going out to the men that's on the line. Let's not be afraid of a female when they say, let's talk. Because now you're starting to learn communication. Just because they say let's talk, it don't mean nothing negative. So just be open-minded for 2025 and let's listen.
I like that, Mr. Kingdom. I like what you said.
Yeah, because when that woman say let's talk, I'd be saying, oh, here we go.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Here we go.
When that woman say let's talk, you're like, oh hell.
Yeah, here we go.
No, I ain't no here we go. It's oh hell. What the hell's going on? That's what you say. Excuse my French. Excuse my French. That's the first thing pop in your mind when you say let's talk. Oh hell. Then you'll be like, what I done now? What's going on now?
And do anybody on the line have anything that you want to bring out or talk about? We got about 3 minutes, and we're going to close down, but we want to give you this time. Anybody on the line that have something they want to say or any comments or anything they want to share, now's the time. We're going to give you this time to share that before we close out.
To each one on the line, Rufus, feel free, Glenda, feel free to give my number. If you have any personal questions or anything that I spoke on, feel free to call me anytime.
All right.
Hey, Glenda.
Yeah.
Listen, because I don't be looking up a lot of stuff. When is the final payment got to be in for the cruise?
For the cruise.
I think it's April. Wait, April 15th. Hold on. I got the sheet somewhere here.
While they're looking for that, I want to just say, this is Annette. I want to say the communication on the line tonight has really been good. It's been really wonderful listening to everybody that did communicate via text messaging and or live.
Yes, it was very good. I love the interaction. Mm-hmm. I have a lot to think about when we get off the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tax day is April the 15th. $250 is due by then.
Okay.
It's April the 15th. And then also already know that the early bird special is $75 for the thing in for the conference in Leesburg. $75 is the earliest registration, and you got until March the 31st to pay that $75. And that
where do they pay the $75?
They can pay it directly on our website.
Okay.
They can pay it directly on the website. It's $75. And it's
right now.
What now?
What June though?
It's June the 14th. And it's going to be from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. It's going to be in Leesburg, Florida. And we got a flyer. We'll send a flyer out one more time. And the early bird special is $75. Anything after that is going to be the regular price is $249. So
Ooh.
please play the $75.
What's the total for the cruise?
The total for the cruise is all depends on whether you're getting a balcony or inner cabin. Now the balcony is 900 and what's called a 684. Now I've got to find somebody that with me. I got to get a partner because I need a partner. So Bo, you want to go with me? You want to share with me?
I don't know because I've never been on a cruise, and my first cruise is going with my wife.
Well, they ain't your wife, so you ain't the one. Then I gotta find somebody else because I gotta pay you. I gotta have.
I'm just telling you straight up.
Okay. All right, guys. It's that time. It's great. See you guys next week. Same place, same place.
All right,
Good night, everybody.